Welcome to the Board Game Snobs podcast. Critically harsh reviews with a touch of class.
Go.
And welcome back to the first annual Board Game Snobs podcast featuring myself, Jerry, and just me, because I am the host. Gabi's not with us this time. Gabi is actually feeling very ill today, and he's going to be sitting here quietly, not saying anything about anything. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Very nice. So this is the...
This is the dream come true for you. Just hear your own self talk.
I'm just going to talk out loud.
Talk.
All the listeners have demanded.
Talk Bob Ross style.
Bob Ross style?
Yeah, just nice and soft.
Like with an afro?
We're going to talk about this little game over here. Pretty little game.
You know what? That would probably be appropriate because...
Yeah, nice and soothing.
We are going to be very soothing in our tone, but we are about to spread a lot of hate.
Yes.
Yes, because the game...
Hold on.
I'm not about to dive into the game.
Oh,
There's no need for you to start
usually
this.
you want to.
You want banter? I'm about
Usually
to give
you
you
start.
banter.
You
We
start.
haven't even begun this podcast, and
Why are you so angry?
I'm not angry.
You have lost the Bob Ross mojo.
No, my
Bob would not. Bob is looking down right now from his painted sky, and he's not happy. He's thinking, I wish I could paint a happy little smile on Jerry. Just make Jerry a happy little fella. He's so, that chair is so squeaky. And I do not know how to get it.
Unsqueak this chair?
Yes.
It's all right.
Don't move.
I won't.
Don't move the rest of this podcast.
I'm sitting here.
I got a fact for you.
Give it to me.
Fun fact.
Go ahead.
Aren't they always fun too? Did you know? Why is Chicago named the Windy City?
Because of the intense wind that I think the locals refer to as the hawk.
Ha! False! You have been misled, much like everyone else.
This is super fun.
Reader's Digest. I saw this today.
Do you read
Reader's
the
Digest.
Reader's Digest?
If it's to be found, if you're looking for fun facts, look no further than Reader's Digest.
Let me say this.
I got it off my grandma's cabinet.
If you find the Reader's Digest...
Along with the laughter is the best medicine.
The Reader's Digest should typically be within at least 3 feet of a commode. 'Cause that's the only reason you'll be reading the Reader's Digest. Go ahead and give me this fun fact, because so far it's been rather
So when
unfun.
you hear someone mention the Windy City, actually, this could pertain to you because it's dealing with people full of hot air. Yeah, but
So we're going that way, all right.
I went that way.
Go ahead.
You've come at me with vile and vim and vigor.
Vim and vigor.
Well, when the nickname came to be, the Windy City wasn't describing the weather, but the people. 19th century journalists first gave Chicago this designation when criticizing the city's elite as full of hot air. That's why it's the Windy City. They said Chicago actually doesn't really have that much more wind than any particular other cities.
You could have fooled me.
I did not know that. I my whole life thought the Windy City was because it's supposed to be windy. I've never been to Chicago. I don't know.
If you want to look and actually look this up, you'll have to watch it on YouTube.
Is it in Reader's Digest?
No, this is something I
Oh,
saw
but
on
I'm not
YouTube.
interested.
As you well know, the listeners don't know. So I'm about to bare my soul. One of the things that very much frightens me, terribly so,
You don't have to take your shirt off for that.
right now it's getting ready, is I am terribly frightened of tornadoes. Yes, like,
Really?
yes, terribly frightened. It is like a long-standing thing. My father was. And so, segueing this to
Hold
Chicago.
on.
Hold on, stop.
But I have questions.
Stop.
I have questions. You can't bare
after.
your soul.
Questions after.
Okay.
Questions after.
I hope I don't forget.
Just implant it. That if you go onto YouTube and look up the Chicago storm warning signals, they have the creepiest tornado sirens ever. Just do yourself a favor, look them up. They're weird sounding. It's like zombies are attacking the city. So anyways, I just bring that up because as somebody who likes to be abreast of whether or not I can hear the tornado sirens go off in my hometown, which I actually supported our local fire department in making sure that we got tornado sirens that could be heard all around the city.
So,
Because our old ones weren't any good.
in being afraid of tornadoes,
Yes.
I too am afraid of bad weather. Okay, this is, I will bare my soul. Let me take my shirt off. There you go. My soul is bare in all its glory. My biggest fear is driving at night in stormy weather straight into a tornado I cannot see.
Like what? Like it's a stealth tornado? Like you just have no clue that
when
it's going to happen?
black outside, completeness.
Wind.
Yes, I can feel the wind, but I can't see where it's coming from.
The most dangerous place for you to be during a tornado is technically in a vehicle.
Okay, but this is further into my questioning of you bearing your soul. Mm-hmm. So, do you fear bad weather that could possibly turn into a tornado, or is it seeing a funnel cloud itself, which I've never seen?
No, I've been in 3 separate tornadoes, not actually in the vortex, but actually in where
like
I've
a twister.
Seen them.
Did you have a belt looped around a pipe?
Yeah,
in the vortex,
like Sharknado.
So that's my question. So you saw them?
Yes.
You saw the funnel cloud?
Yes, I saw them touchdown.
And that's what scares you?
Yes, to this
Or
day.
do you also not like the bad weather surrounding tornadoes?
I don't mind bad weather, not that much. That doesn't get me. It's just
I fear the bad weather because the bad weather can turn into a tornado.
Plus when I worked on the ambulance
or a Sharknado
for a while, for a while, we often responded to neighboring towns that had been affected by bad weather or something of that nature, and we went to a town that was hit by a tornado, and it was kind of a rough thing. It's just it's very interesting to watch.
I mean, I would like to see a funnel cloud just because I want to see it from a safe distance. Yeah. Just to see it. Because, I mean, that's something, I mean, you see them on TV all the time. Yeah. Twister had people out there chasing tornadoes thinking it was super cool.
It's not.
No. It leads to death and destruction.
And being in southern Oklahoma and northern Texas, it's something that is
it's real. Especially at night. Drive right into one, not even know
Nobody's ever done that.
It'll be like Carrie Elways. That's it.
Oh, yeah. He did die, didn't he?
He was gone.
In Twister.
Poor fellow. He had all that technology. Still got caught up in one.
Yeah. But Bill Paxton, though. And Laura Dern. Forever in our hearts.
Not Laura Dern.
No, it wasn't Laura Dern. It's the chick on Mad About Me that was not Laura Dern. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Mad About You, lady.
Yes.
Is it Holly something?
I don't know.
No.
But I really liked her.
Holly Hunt? No.
Holly Hunt?
No. Hunt. Helen Hunt.
Helen Hunt.
Yes, we got there.
Yes. We miss you, Helen Hunt. What happened to you?
I think she retired.
If you're listening, please.
Helen Hunt. What if she's a board game enthusiast?
She could be. If letter from Helen Hunt, we're going to know about it.
If Helen Hunt, please email us at boardgamesnobs@gmail.com.
Follow us on Twitter, Amazon, LinkedIn, Fortnite, and what else are we on?
Hold on. I'm flossing.
Oh, no.
Yes.
No. All right. Going on with 2 things here that we're going to segue into the board game section of things that are chaotic and frantic and quite frankly destructive, and things that are just a cultural experience. Gen 7.
Oh.
Okay. Gen 7.
That was a hard merge.
It was a hard merge. Hard merge. The sequel.
Hard merge. Coming at you.
The Gen 7, the recent Crossroad games by, I believe it's Simon. Is it Simon or Plaid Hat?
Come on.
Plaid Hat. It's Plaid Hat.
Plaid Hat.
Okay.
Super expensive.
Yeah, so to give you some backstory on this, there's 2 backstories. One, Gobby texts me in the middle of the night, and I know anytime that Gobby texts me after 11 o'clock at night, he's been doing one of 2 things.
Hey, Jerry.
He is drinking.
Guess what?
And he's on cool stuff. And he's about to buy a game.
I really want to buy this game.
And thus, he wants me to split it with him.
But my wife has cut up my credit cards.
Yes. So I reluctantly decided, hey, why not? This seems to be a very popular game. Let's go ahead and get it.
A Crossroads game.
A Crossroads game.
Which we thought we might have liked because there was like a small part of Dead of Winter, the story part, we thought we liked.
Dead of Winter was...
Apparently we didn't remember correctly.
No, we did not. So Gen 7, and I'll just go into my Bob Ross mode here.
Okay.
Bob Ross mode here.
Calm it down a second. Gen 7 by Plaid Hat.
Yes, by Plaid Hat. Essentially what you do is you spread out all these beautiful little boards on the table. You have these nice little dice with your little player boards. And then you roll those dice. And some of those dice are your colonist, and some of them are your robot, but one of them is your officer. And when you look at on these boards, you're trying to fix problems that are going around your little spaceship. And so you'll put out dice that meet the certain requirements to get the parts that you need to fix certain critical areas of your ship. But if you ever play your officer, then you have to draw from the crossroad deck and make a decision. It's kind of like some sort of small little short story that you'll read and then choose what option you're going to take. It is competitive in the sense that you are trying to outdo your friends, but in the same connection, you're working together. So let me just say this, and this is my soapbox. This is me taking off my perm as Bob Ross, and this is coming straight out.
Oh, it's Jerry.
If a game does not
Under that Jerry curl comes Jerry.
That was nice. A designer one time, well, one of the greatest designers ever, Martin Wallace, made a comment that for a game to be solid,
yes,
you have one solid mechanism and you build the game around it. You put all the trappings around it, but you get one main mechanism, one thing that is what the essence of the game, and then you tack a few things onto it. In Gen 7, the main mechanism of this game is this dice placement. And it's barely even a game. It is, I would compare it to Sentient, which is a very light dice rolling, dice manipulation game, whereas this is pretty much the same thing where you're just putting out dice. The thing that is tacked onto the game is the story element, and this is what gets me. There wasn't much game in Gen 7. It really didn't feel like I was playing much of a board game. It was basically, I'm just shuffling things around until I get to read part of the story and make a decision. And quite frankly, a lot of that was not that engaging.
No.
I'm a big fan of Robinson Crusoe, where you do manage various items and things of that nature, and it's very similar in its design, but you also pick up these cards, and you go on an adventure, and you make a decision, and you shuffle that card into the event deck, and later it comes out, and it's bad. To me, Gen 7 didn't have the story there was no soul in Gen 7. It was very pretty, but the setup...
Pretty? What's pretty about it? It was like a bunch of different boards with...
No. I honestly did like the feel, the aesthetics of it. Like, I did see what they were going for. But two things here.
Okay.
I will say this.
You know what? You're a hard man to break in on sometimes. Because you talk consistently.
Well, I'd like to get my point across before you start.
But it's so much.
Well,
you talk a lot. Wow! Oh, that shocks you.
This is
do you not know that you talk a lot? I know it's a podcast, but you do a lot of talking. I'm like, well, maybe he'll pause in a second. I can break in. That hasn't happened the last 7 minutes.
Look, I'm trying to add some sustenance to our podcast.
Sustenance?
Here's the thing.
Or substance?
Here's the thing.
Iconology or iconography? What's the difference? Is there a difference? Let's find out.
The difference is that the main mechanism of this podcast is giving our listeners some insight into board games.
Oh, really?
And the trapping.
You think that's it?
Yes.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
They tuned into the wrong podcast.
Well, here. What did you think? Give me a second.
Team Jerry.
What did you think about Gen 7, Gobby?
This is what I thought about it.
Go ahead.
Gen 7 by designer Steve Nicks.
Nobody cares.
You always say that.
No, go ahead and keep going.
No, that's like just your go-to line. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
Whenever you mean I don't care. Just say I don't care. There's somebody thinking, I wonder who the heck designed that game. And they've been thinking it for 7 minutes, but nobody said nothing. Because Jerry just goes on and on and on about this game. This is a game. We watched, 30 minutes of Rodney explaining it. Excellent job, Rodney. Excellent job. He did great. But there's 1,000 moving parts, all simply to set down dice and take your action. Like you said, to get to the story part, which is very minimal. Why am I going through all this crap when really I just want to get to the story, like a choose your own event. Just make the game a choose your own adventure.
Pretty much.
Why deal with, let's fix this engine and roll your dice. Oh, no. No.
It was kind of like waiting 35 minutes of listening through 35 minutes of scientific talk just to watch Tom Hardy turn into Venom.
Yes.
It's like, well, just get to the point.
Yes.
Just get to the point.
Hey, did I tell you that?
No, here's the thing. This is how much
Wait, did I tell you that?
No, you did not.
Because I literally said that on my other podcast.
You didn't say that. The reason I say that is, all right, I'll backtrack a little bit.
Wait.
I don't like Marvel guys.
Can we start on Venom?
I don't like Marvel shows. I don't like TV shows in general, but Gabby loves superhero shows and crappy movies.
No, I don't love crappy movies. I like quality movies. If I loved crappy movies, I'd like Venom.
When Gabby calls and says, "Hey, I just watched this show," and
that's right. So I called you.
I stop and I go and watch reviews and try to catch up on the shows. I'll have something to talk about. And so I have never watched Venom. But
nor should you.
The overall thing of the movie is that it takes a long time to get the show going, and it's kind of cheesy.
35 minutes.
That's kind of what Gen 7 is to me. It takes a long time to get going. There's not much there, and it's kind of cheesy.
Yes. For $85 plus shipping.
Yeah, it's not an $85 game.
No, it's not.
No.
I don't know why that game is $85.
I think the story writing in it.
Near and far, a superior game to Gen 7 for just about the same amount of...
Wow, are you going to go... Wait a minute. Why didn't I think of that? Give me a second. Do I like Near and Far more than I do Gen 7? Yeah.
Yeah, well, yes.
Yeah. Go, yeah, that's a good
If
one.
you want storytelling, go Near and Far.
Yeah, it is. But it's not Crossroads. It's not like you're making a deep settling decision.
No. Okay, and this is the deal. Much like Venom, I was 35 minutes into it, and I'm like, I'm about to check out. Thankfully, right at that mark, he turns into Venom. The rest of the story was blah. It was okay. Tom Hardy.
I love Tom Hardy.
Held my interest with his weird acting and accent in that movie.
I love Tom Hardy.
Gen 7, it took forever to set up.
Doesn't have Tom Hardy.
Took forever to learn it. All to throw out a card, roll some dice, place them for this. I'm like, oh, where am I getting to? What's the point? I was done. I was done.
My warning of this game would be that if you are a diehard Dead of Winter fan and you're looking for Dead of Winter in space, then that might be what this game appeals to. So you might check into it. But quite frankly, I'm not a big Dead of Winter fan.
Frankly, my dear,
I really think that probably Dead of Winter is a superior game, and you should probably stick to that. But if you want to try something, then Gen 7. For the rest of you out there, listeners, please try before you buy. As a matter of fact, I would avoid this one outright. It was a big disappointment in my book.
Always try before you buy, Jerry.
No. Sometimes you just buy.
Don't make a rookie mistake and just buy stuff.
Look who's talking.
2.
That was a good... Was that John Travolta that was the baby's voice?
Now. Bruce Willis.
Was it?
Yes.
John Travolta was the dad.
You know how many times we've had this conversation?
I know, but I can't ever get straight in my mind.
I think it's Bruce Willis that's the baby.
Think so?
Nobody wants to hear baby go, oh, John Travolta. Oh.
That's your word. You're Christopher Walken and your John Travolta's the same.
John.
No.
I put my pants on.
No.
One leg at a time.
We've had actual requests.
Cowbell.
Saying don't do voices.
Well, whatever.
The listeners have wrote in.
No. I've got a listener that loves my voices.
Who? Name her.
My pseudonym. Under my pseudonym.
Under your pseudonym. Gen 7, a hard pass for the snobs.
You know what I've noticed?
What?
It's been a while. It's been a while since we've had a game we like a lot.
I was thinking that the other day.
All of 2018
has been kind of not a drag, but nothing's really wrecked your mind, you know?
No.
We're in 2019 now.
2019.
We're coming at you from the future.
Our last several discussions have been games we don't really care for.
Do you think that mediocrity has set into the board gaming? I think
mediocrity or mediocrity.
Here's the thing.
Is it both?
I think that one is
both ways.
It's both ways. Either
mediocrity.
Mediocrity.
I've never heard of mediocrity.
I like alacrity at which you are going after my grammar.
What?
What?
The what?
The alacrity.
Alacrity.
A-L-A-C. Did I pronounce that right?
I don't know. I don't know I've never heard that term.
You never heard of alacrity?
Never heard of it.
Well, I'm +5 there.
Let me look up mediocrity while you talk.
I think that in the board gaming community, we are going out of a phase for which we are trying new things. And so we have games like Chronicles of Crime, which uses an app primarily. And then you have these other games that are trying out different other types of twists on mechanics and just different forms of trying to make the games new. And some of them are failing. And then we have the good old fashioned, basically redos. Everybody's remaking the same game over and over again. And so we're in a tough spot right now.
Everything that we played last year, either we didn't really care for it all that much, or it was a expansion or part 2 or something.
Well, and I think it's
like the movies.
Just like the movies. But I think it's fair to say is that
And I looked up mediocrity, and it says, did you mean mediocrity?
Mediocrity?
Yeah. I don't think mediocrity is a word.
It might not be.
Just FYI.
Well, I'm going to use it because I like to use it.
Why? It does not exist.
But
you're saying a word that does not exist.
But how can I say something that doesn't exist?
I thought I could just say flarksnarp. What's that mean? Nothing. It means the exact same thing as mediocrity.
But the thing is,
flarksnarp.
If you start using it,
there's been a whole bunch of flarksnarp games this year.
There has been. And to tell you the truth, the Flarksnark games, which everybody knows are games that are just remixes of old games, have not been very impressive. I think that every year we add about 2 or 3 games to our collection that we really like.
We were going to do a podcast of 2018 games, but I can't think of any enough to make it worth a podcast.
Yeah, I can. And I'm going to send you a list. I haven't worked on it very much.
Okay.
There is, but we're there. Anyways, Gen 7 is a hard pass. And so let's move on. Since we got get out your haterade.
Done. Hold on.
Haterade.
Here's my haterade.
That's cheap bourbon.
It is not.
What is that?
Oh, no.
I like that Black Eagle stuff that you had.
This is like 114 or something.
Never heard of it.
I don't know.
Okay. Another game for which we played that this game hurts me worse than Gen 7 because I really wanted to like this game.
I really wanted to like Gen 7 because I love sci-fi. I love space. I love the idea of a generational ship in space and things.
Well, this next game. This next game was one that I've been looking forward to for quite some time. And unfortunately, it was sold to me as the meanest bidding game out there, the Estates. And so just to give you some background on the Estates, it was a Kickstarter game. It's got some pretty interesting components to it.
By Klaus Zock.
Yes. Who makes it?
Capstone Games.
Really?
Or Simply Complex.
Nice.
I don't know what that means.
These are all information that I'll use.
Artist Dan Van Paradin.
Dan Van Paradin?
Thijs Van Paradin. Pardon. Apparently this is from another country.
I don't care.
Of which I am not familiar, and I cannot say their names, and I apologize. Why do you not care?
What about
so many things?
It's because...
What do you care about?
What do I care about?
What could I say that you say, thank you, I care?
I care about your informed opinion, which you have few of them.
Well, then why am I on here?
Well, you're the trappings of all of them. You're what makes the show palatable.
I'm the yams to your turkey and dressing?
Yes. So, like...
Cranberry sauce?
Yes, that's exactly it. I'm the turkey here, but nobody just wants to eat turkey because it's dry. It's dry and there's sustenance to it, but nobody just wants to sit around.
Sustenance.
Whatever.
Hold on, I gotta look that up now. Go ahead.
You're the cranberry sauce to my giblets.
The Estates. Another flocknarm.
Flocknarm. The Estates. So let me describe the Estates to you. Essentially, you have a bunch of big chunky cubes that are numbered in different colors.
Sustenance. Food and drink regarded as a source of strength, nourishment.
You are nourishment to me. And this podcast. You're the heart and soul of this podcast. I'm #Team Gobby.
I'm #Team Jerry.
What?
I got it tattooed.
Really?
Right in the small of my back.
That's no.
Yes.
No.
It's there.
You don't have a small of your back. Oh.
What?
So, as the Estates.
The Estates by Klaus.
So listen here, Klaus.
Claus.
As you're going through
Klaus
the
or
game,
Claus?
you
Zuck.
take the time to select one of these colored cubes that have a number on them, and that is your building. And basically, you put it up for auction, and you do a once-around bid starting with the player to the left. They say put their number out there, and when whoever gets around to once it goes around the table and gets back to the auctioneer has the option of either paying for the block to the highest bidder. If they bid $10 million, then the auctioneer is going to pay that player $10 million and keep the block.
You have $12 million total to start off with.
Yeah, which is a finite amount of money. Or taking the highest bidder's money and giving him the block. You take the block, you put it out on the map, and if it's a blue of 5 color block, then it's worth 5 victory points. The strategy of the game comes from is that every time you place another block on top of another block, that color then owns it. And so whoever wins these auctions, they take control of those colored blocks. So if I'm scoring all the blue blocks because I've got the license to,
Blue blockers.
Yeah, you might be scoring.
Remember those?
Yes. Might be scoring all the red blocks.
Block out them Blu-rays.
So there you go.
No, wait. Blu-rays are a DVD.
There.
What are they supposed to block out?
I don't know.
What are blue blockers blocking?
I don't really know. How much?
Why are they blocking blue?
How much blue would the blue block block? The blue block blue. I don't know.
They blocked out something.
They did. I can't
Powerful.
recall.
UV rays.
Oh, that's right. They did the UV rays.
Blue blockers.
Those were nice.
That's like literally something most people have no idea about.
Well, they can Google it. Much like if they want to know the name of these designers or artists of these board games, they could probably Google that too. And much like that, they probably don't care.
Klaus.
The
Zuck.
Estates was just not that good of a bidding game.
Okay.
Yeah,
Let me break in here.
Break it in. Break it down.
We borrowed this from Mike.
Thank you, Mike.
Recently of BGS. Me and Jerry played a two-player game of the Estates.
Of a bidding game, mind you. So
a bidding game. And it says 2 to 5 players. And that's what I said to Jerry. I said, it's a 2-player bidding game option?
It can work.
Okay. So we played it. I kept making horrendous mistakes. Handing Jerry all these good plots of land. He owned most of the whatever they're called, tower contracts.
Yeah, the condos. I call them condos.
I ended up winning the game.
Yep. At the last minute.
At the last minute, because of the scoring system, you get negative points if you don't complete these rows. And it was kind of a back and forth at 2 players. And I was up in the air. I was like, well, that's interesting. I mean, I don't care for a game personally where I know I made terrible, like literally, I messed up almost every auction I did.
Yep.
Because I either went for a roof that would complete only Jerry's buildings,
which was wise.
which I'm like, okay. And then I just did terrible and I ended up winning. I was like, but that was interesting because there was a push pull between 2 people. We broke it out with 4 players. And it got atrocious.
Poor Enrique.
It got atrocious.
So
it was so utterly random. And there, in a 4-player game, there are points when either A, you have no money, so you can't do anything, or B, there's auctions that you have zero. There's no reason for you to be interested in that auction.
It was also the thing that I did not like is that at the beginning of the game, the first person who wins the first blue block now scores those blue blocks at the end of the game.
That's right.
The first person who scores the red block and so forth. For some reason, Enrique completely forgot that, didn't bid the first few rounds, and then couldn't score any blocks. And so Enrique spent the entire game trying to drive everybody into negative points, which is about near impossible.
He could literally score no points.
Yes, he could literally score no points.
He could only send us into negative.
He could have won the game, possibly.
Yes.
But I don't know. I don't know if that's even possible. I guess it was perfect storm type thing.
It's so...
It was a game that I so wanted to love, but in terms of a bidding game, and I'll sum it up
And we
here,
love bidding.
I love modern art.
That may be our second favorite behind worker placement.
I love
or
High
mine,
Society.
at least.
I will say this:
maybe Jerry's number 1.
When I got through playing the Estates, I got to thinking of which game would be a manage your money bidding game with some area control, because that's basically what this is. And I thought, playing the Estates, this is going to sound sad. It made me want to bust out Power Grid.
Oh, yeah.
A long, drawn-out old game, but quite frankly, there's bidding in it, and it's a neat bidding. It's a title.
Oh, Power Grid's solid.
There's pretty solid resource management. There's the area control is not that great, but it's there. You're managing your money. The Estates made me want to play a long game of Power Grid.
I would rather play anything than the Estates because, okay, if Jerry has the contracts for purple, there's no reason for me to bid on purple.
It was a weird. It was.
I could bid on purple and then hope to place it in a plot of land where he might score minimal points, but it was just that was terrible. I didn't like that.
It certainly was not the. It was not the game I wanted, and so unfortunately, it's not. It's not the estate I was looking for, and so that's very disappointing. Now, to close this out, we've been throwing a lot of shade here. Gen 7 was kind of a disappointment.
Yes.
This game is a reprint, and one that I wanted to play for a long time. Came back in print. Arboretum. I love Arboretum. Absolutely love Arboretum.
It's a good game.
It is a good game, and here's the only thing I would warn people about is that I like it better 2-player. I like it better with less players. Mainly because I like the fact that I can look at what you're doing and be able to affect it. Arboretum is a bunch of cards with a bunch of trees, like 6 different.
By Dan Kasser.
Thank you, Dan. I do.
And Philosonia Editions, Renegade Game Studio, Z-Man Games, plus 3 more. Apparently, it's been published by a lot of people.
It's been published and been out of print for a while. It just came back.
Renegade's the latest.
This is what gets me. Arboretum. We played a 2-player games with their 6 different types of trees, different colors of trees, and then the cards are numbered 1 through 8. What you're trying to do is to build an arboretum. You draw 2 cards, either from your discard pile, your opponent's discard pile, or the top of the draw pile. You play 1 card and you discard 1. You play the card down in front of you to create your arboretum. And the scoring of the game is what makes the game. So each round, when it gets time to score the plants or the trees, the cards that you have left in your hand, you'll have 7 cards left in your hand. Whoever has the highest total of those cards gets the right to score that plant. So it's this tree. It's back and forth because you want to play your higher cards, but at the same time, you want to hold on to them so you'll have the right to score the card. So there is some like card counting going on, watching what your opponent's doing. And I can hold on to a high-level card that will mess you up and keep you from scoring one of your plots there, one of your plots of trees. The scoring is very interesting because you'll start from the lowest. You can start. You score the cards orthogonally, starting at 1, 2, 3. You go into ascending order.
1 to 8.
1 to 8. There is this little rule in the book that changes everything. Say I'm planting all the blue trees, and I have my nice run of blue trees. Gabi sees that I'm planting all these trees and I'm scoring the points, so he is going to hold on to the 8 blue card. Holds on to the entirety of the game. When we go down to lay down our cards to see who gets to score those trees, if I have the 1, it trumps the 8. It negates it. If I had played the 1 out here, out into my arboretum, then the 8 stands. That little simple rule of not knowing if your opponent is holding on to the 1 while you're holding on to an 8 is a viable tactic, and it's something that changes the game. It is a very smart rule. And Arboretum is not only beautiful, I've thought about this here recently. I think that is probably one of my favorite 2-player games. I think I would rather play Arboretum over Hanakanoji. I think it's like right up there. Hanakanoji? What is it called? Go ahead. Fix it. Hanamakoji. It's right up there with it.
I prefer Arboretum.
I do too.
Hanamakoji is an excellent game, specifically for a 2-player. Arboretum is a good game. We played it 3-player and 2-player, and we do like the 2-player aspect because I can keep track of what you're doing more. You can keep track of me. The only thing I will say about the 8 versus the 1, that is a neat rule. It's a little twist, and it keeps everybody in check. However, I don't think it literally came into any play.
No, it has
in the games that we had.
I like that
Not
it's
the
there.
it, yes.
I like that it's there. I like that it's there.
But there's two twists to the game. That, the 1 can trump your 8.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you're holding on just to the 8, you better hold on to something else just in case.
Yep.
So that's the back and forth. What are they going to play? The second one is simply the fact that you can lay down all the cards in the world, but you have to hold on to that type of tree into your hand to score it. And that sometimes is hard to remember.
It's hard.
Because I played several trees. I'm like, that was the last of that tree. And I'm just worried about getting me a big run of that tree. But I have nothing to score now. So then you're just drawing cards, hoping you draw another count of that tree into your hand.
And that is exciting because it has
It's
that
good.
feeling of push your luck.
It's good.
So this is my saying here. This is what I'm getting at. This is Bob Ross here. And you know how Bob Ross likes trees?
Yes.
He likes painting those little trees.
trees.
Making those trees come out of those brushes. Oh, look at here. That's a beautiful little mistake.
It's a happy little mistake.
Happy little mistake. Gen 7. That was not a happy little mistake.
No,
that was a waste of time.
Horrible mistake.
The Estates, it just wasn't quite there.
Hey,
Hey,
you know what?
what?
I literally watched the Shut Up and Sit Down review of Arboretum,
Yeah.
and they made an ASMR reference.
They did?
Yes.
So they're weird like us.
They are aware of ASMR.
Really?
Yes. That's what he used in his review. He started off the review doing ASMR.
Quinn?
No.
Matt? Matt. I like Matt.
It's good. It's
He's
a good
good.
review.
I hate that Paul left.
Makes me sad. He's like, I liked Paul.
I like Paul too. I didn't like his taste in games.
No, a little bit different.
I really don't agree with Shut Up and Sit Down with a lot of their games that they
No,
like.
but I love their videos.
I love their videos.
Reviews.
Their videos.
Not the reviews necessarily, because like we said, they don't agree about it.
If we had time, energy, motivation,
money,
camera, we might be the American Shut Up and Sit Down,
we could try.
but we're not going to be.
All we need is a $400 camera. So I want to set up a
No.
Kickstarter,
We're not camera people.
PayPal us,
You have
Patreon.
I might have the face for cameras, but you have the voice for radio, my friend. So we'll just keep it
The
like it
face
is.
for radio.
Yes,
That's what
there
you
we
mean to
go.
say.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant.
How dare you?
Spend your 50.
You're calling me ugly right now.
No, I'm not calling you.
You just
you're
said
a
it.
beautiful
You
man.
said I have the face
I
for
agreed
radio.
with what you said. I
have the face
I
for
agree
radio.
with your self-flagellating comment.
Self-flatulation?
I don't know if that's a word.
Self-deprecating?
The flagellation?
Flatulation?
Flagellation.
Let's look that up.
Look it up.
I'm not going to. I've looked up enough
You
words.
should probably look that up because we might have to cut that.
I'm sure it's something related to flatulence.
F-L-E-G.
Flatulating.
F-L-E.
E.
F-L-E-G-A. Look it up right.
F-L-E-G-A? That's flega.
You don't know nothing.
What are you doing? Flatulating?
You don't know nothing. I'm just saying.
Flatulating. No, there's no flatulate.
Spin your 50.
Oh, wait. Flatulation. Flatulence. Oh, that takes you to flatulence. What is the meaning of flatulate? Verb. Third person singular simple. That's not a word. I don't think that's a word. Maybe it is.
I think I made up a word. And it's fine.
Maybe it is a word.
It's fine.
Dealing with flatulence. But not self-flatulating.
How would you not?
I mean, I guess you just release gas.
There you go.
That's self-flatulating.
Trees release gas,
They do.
and they
In
provide
the
us
form of
oxygen.
oxygen. And we appreciate
spend
that.
$15 and get Arboretum. You won't
We
regret it.
appreciate that, trees.
Spend $15 and get Arboretum. It is probably one of the better games. I'd rather play
Card
Arboretum.
game.
Yeah.
Little low card game where you're just making a little trail. Happy little trail.
Happy little trees.
Looking at some trees.
That's all for us today.
But I had so much more.
We're going to have another podcast here because
I had so much more to discuss.
about trees.
No, Mission Impossible.
I'm ready to make like a tree and leave. So
Get out of here, McFly.
All right. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram,
We've already said all
Tumblr, and we love y'all. Keep sending us emails.
that. We do love you.
That's all for us for tonight.
Bye.
Good day.
Thank you for listening to the Board Game Snobs. Stay classy.